Welcome back, folks. Welcome back to another episode of Gay Let's Play Dragon Age Inquisition. Like I said, it's this the number of videos it's going to take to get through Skyhold, I swear, is going to rival those of the Hinterlands at this point. But at least there's a lot of interesting people to talk to and things to see and do. Construction reports, brick marks. Skyhold has stolen bricks. Found a brick mark I know from Elder's notes. Fired in High before it was sacked in 480. That was Orlais. But this style isn't. So it was probably looted. There may be others, that time is long past, but the Inquisitors should know where they live. Ganon, Mason. Our cause rights a greater wrong. Crimes of the past will be reclipped soon enough as this becomes the home of the Inquisition. But send word to High so they can amend their histories. Commander Cullen. Hey, Cassie. Oh, what?
You knew where Hawk was all along.
You're damned right I did.
You conniving little shit.
Whoa, you
You
guys.
kidnapped me. You interrogated me. What did you expect?
Should I stay out of it and just watch them? No, Art's a peacemaker. Art's gonna intervene so they don't send each other into the infirmary. I'm gonna intervene.
Hey, enough!
You're taking his side?
No.
I said enough!
No, I'm not taking
We
anyone's
needed
side.
someone to lead this Inquisition. First, Liliana and I searched for the hero of Ferelden, but he had vanished. Then we looked for Hawk, but he was gone too. We thought it all connected, but no. It was just you. You kept him from us.
The Inquisition has a leader.
Hawk would have been at the Conclave if anyone could have saved Most Holy.
That's the reason why they were looking for him. Because they were looking for the hero of Ferelden to be the next to be the Inquisitor. And then they were looking for Hawk when Angelus was MIA. That makes sense. And that's why, because I was wondering near the end of Dragon Age 2, Liliana and Cassandra were chatting and Liliana had the book because they were getting ready to start the Inquisition, to stop the war between the Templars. That makes sense. And for the record, Cassandra, I was intervening so that, not because I was taking Varric's side, I was just trying to, let's talk about this like civil people, please. Varric. What's done is done. Varric's not at fault. What's done is done.
You can't change the past, Cassandra.
So I must accept what? That the Maker wanted all this to happen? That he... Varric is a liar, Inquisitor. A snake. Even after the Conclave, when we needed Hawk most, Varric kept him secret.
He's with us now. We're on the same side.
We all know whose side you're on, Varric. It will never be the Inquisition's.
This is tough. I think that, Varric was trying to be a good friend to Hawk. It's sort of like, it reminds me of when Angelus was forced into being made to decide who is going to be the next ruler for Ferelden. I think that deep in his heart, Angelus felt that Alistair would be best for Ferelden, or more specifically, he felt that Alistair, possibly with Honora, would be best for Ferelden. However, it wasn't his choice to make, and Alistair clearly showed that he didn't want to be king. And so Angelus, out of respect to his friend and his friend's wishes, he wasn't going to force that on Alistair, even though it would probably have been best for Ferelden. Angelus didn't feel like it was his choice to make. It had to be Alistair. Alistair had to be the one who had to want that, and he didn't feel like it was right to force him into that. So I think Varric, maybe him and Hawk talked. Maybe Hawk specifically says, I don't want anyone to find me. Varric, out of respect to his friend, kept him hidden. So it's a tough call because, how important is a friendship with someone versus the entire world. You know, if the entire world depended on it, does, essentially going back on your word with a friend, how worth it is that? And you really could argue it either way. Art's gonna be diplomatic.
Attacking him now won't help us, Cassandra.
Ha! Exactly.
And you better not be keeping anything else from us.
Ah.
I understand.
I think I handled that as best as I could, Cassandra.
I must not think of what could have been. We have so much at stake. Go, Varric. Just go.
There's a lot of tension. Wow. I am kind of ticked that... Not ticked. I am a little disappointed
You know what
in
I
Varric.
think? If Hawk had been at the temple, he'd be dead too. You
That's
people
true.
have done enough to him.
That's true.
I believed him. He spun his story for me and I swallowed it. If I just explained what was at stake, if I just made him understand. But I didn't, did I? I didn't explain why we needed Hawk.
No, you didn't.
I'm such a fool.
Yeah, I mean, I'm disappointed in Varric, but at the same time, I understand why he did it. And it all ended up okay at the end. It all ended up okay because, like he said, if he had said anything about Hawk, Hawk might have died in the Conclave. So maybe it all worked out in the end for a reason. Maybe it worked itself out, and this is the way it should have been. Or maybe Art was destined to be the Inquisitor. Maybe Hawk had other things that he needed to do. I still like you.
What if you hadn't believed him, and you tracked Hawk down?
Honestly, Hawk might not even have agreed to become Inquisitor. He
Probably.
supported the Mage Rebellion, after all. He wouldn't have
Right.
trusted me for a second.
Right.
But this isn't about Hawk, or even Varric. Not truly. I should have been more careful. I should have been smarter. I don't deserve to be here.
I love this conversation, guys. This is great. BioWare's writers are really flexing their stuff. It's so cool to really get deep down and seeing each of these characters dealing with these things. Not only internal struggles with themselves, but with each other. And the things and the conflicts they have with each other, it makes sense. And it's not petty. I just feel like a lot of the issues that the Dragon Age 2 characters had with each other was just petty and was just at times really childish and just didn't add to the story at all. And I mentioned this during my Let's Play, so many of the Dragon Age 2 companions were just outright awful with each other, and it just got to the point where, okay, I get it, you don't like each other. This is not actually adding anything to the story. It's not adding anything to your character. It's not really developing your character in a way. Conflicts like this is meaningful. This has actually something to do with the plot and the way that these characters develop. It's like Fenris, the Aveline and Isabella relationship, that evolved and developed over time. But things like, the Fenris and Meryl relationship, Fenris still hated Meryl by the end of the day, and it didn't really change at all. And not to say that everyone has to be friends with each other, it's just for the sake of telling a good, meaningful story. That was one of the main reasons why I didn't like the Dragon Age 2 characters as much, is because it felt, you can joke about, the Dragon Age Origins clan being a dysfunctional family. You can joke about the Dragon Age Inquisition fan of being a dysfunctional family, but it still felt like a family. In Dragon Age 2, I never felt that sense of family. I just felt like all these people were hanging out and bickering with each other all the time, and I'm like, why are we even together? Why are we even a party? Why are we even a group? You guys clearly don't like each other. The ones that actually did end up really seeming to like each other genuinely were Aveline and Isabella, ironically. And you could see that, but for everybody else, So this is why I am so happy that in Inquisition they kind of fixed that. The writers improved what their material really well, and I think a lot of it's because they had the extra time to do so, as opposed to the rushed game that was Dragon Age 2, to be perfectly honest. We're all fools, Cassandra. We need to do better. Don't blame yourself.
You're too hard on yourself, Cassandra.
Not hard enough, I think.
You can't believe that.
I want you to know, I have no regrets. Maybe if we'd found Hawk or the hero of Ferelden, the Maker wouldn't have needed to send you. But he did. You're not what I pictured. But if I've learned anything, it's that I know less than nothing.
Wow. Cassandra actually feels bad. She actually feels bad that Art got thrown into this. Because Hawk and the hero of Ferelden weren't available, she feels bad that it ended up falling onto Art's lap. Which I think is really sweet. I'm really loving Cassandra's character a lot. This is very cool stuff. She's
Something
blowing
is
some
troubling
steam.
me, Inquisitor. Leliana is receiving reports of mages becoming possessed, Templars going rogue. No one is dealing with these matters. I was hoping we might, before they get worse.
Of course.
We can certainly look into it.
I will mark these incidents on the map as I learn of them, Inquisitor. And I would be pleased to accompany you if and when you investigate.
Sure. I'd like your advice.
Do you have any advice for me?
Tell that demon, what does it call itself? Cole. Tell it to leave.
Oh,
He
Cassandra.
may not mean harm, but that does not mean he will not harm us.
That does not mean he
Spirits
will.
are not creatures to take at face value. Be cautious with him, Inquisitor.
Aww. Do you have any other advice?
Do you have any
besides
advice for me?
getting rid of Cole?
Treat Dorian with caution. It's possible he could be what he seems. A Tevinter mage wishing to do better than his countrymen. What if he is not? At best, his presence makes the Inquisition appear to have questionable allies.
Cassandra definitely has very strong opinions about her companions.
Do you have any advice for me?
Watch the treasury carefully, with that Sarah present.
You think she's here to rob us?
Possibly not, but I would hardly put it past her.
I love how asking for advice is really gossip with the other members of the with the other party members, or tell us why you don't like the other party members.
Do you have any advice for me?
It's good that you recruited Enchanter Vivian into the Inquisition.
They see eye to
She
eye.
is ambitious, but has always shown sense in her dealings with the Chantry. My advice would be to watch her, but heed her when she speaks. That one wastes no words.
Yes.
Do you have any advice for me?
Watch the new recruits. Liliana says spies are inevitable, and I agree.
Do you have any advice for me?
You know what you need to do, Inquisitor.
Do you have any advice for me?
We must keep an eye on the College of Clerics. The moment they elect a divine, things could change quickly.
Gotcha.
Do you have any advice for me?
We must guard Skyhold carefully. There is no telling when Corypheus will next attack.
Do you have any advice for me?
Watch the new recruits. Liliana says
Okay.
spies are inevitable, and I agree.
Wow, unfinished business. Alright, see ya.
That's enough for now.
Another time, then.
Yes, another time. Yeesh. Let's see. Where did Vivian go now? There's Sigurd again. I really like how the characters are moving around. I mean, it makes it a little bit hard to keep track of them, but you have the map for that, so that's not really much of a big deal. Vivian moved somewhere else. Did she go into the tower? I'm wondering if she went to the library. Although that's a little stereotypical. Just because she's a mage doesn't mean she's in the library all the time. Lisette?
Thank you for Haven. Less so for Redcliffe, but I am committed to serve your worship.
Nice, we have Lisette here.
Your worship.
Surgeon, everything okay?
Somewhat off color today, Inquisitor? An excess of bile, perhaps. Might I bleed you, or offer a herbal tonic?
That's fine. I think I'm good. Thank you, my dear. Okay. Bonnie Sims.
Lord Inquisitor, Bonnie Sims at your service. I trust good secret was not too coarse. Now that you've come to some good fortune, you deserve an upgrade. As master of the tradesman, I stand ready to supply your every need.
How are you doing? Good business?
Building? Always building, thanks to you.
Who or what are the tradesmen?
A following of sympathetic and profit-minded individuals who promote local craftsmen and fair importers. A guild of sorts. Although that implies counter-affiliations we are not interested in crossing. Our purpose in the Inquisition is legitimate and honorable. You will have what you need at honest prices.
I like honest prices. Where's Sigrid?
Survived Haven. Where is he?
About? Doing good work for you and yours? But this position is now more desirable.
Ah, that's what he meant.
It was time arrangements were made. I shall make every effort to prove that this is an upgrade.
Okay. Well, I kind of like that automatically if you save someone, that doesn't mean that they also automatically keep their job. Well, maybe I don't like that, but it keeps things interesting. You know, it doesn't make every single character that you can save behave the same way, act the same way.
Why are you a mere merchant if you are the master of this group?
I wish to avoid the suggestion that I am a posturing commander atop a structure of malcontents. It is better to remain active, hands-on. Do you not agree, Inquisitor?
I agree.
What do you bring to the Inquisition?
What you need, and more. It takes great coordination to make a remote location seem central. While there is no doubt the boutiques of Val Royeaux display the grandest of the grand, they do not travel.
Right.
At least, not yet.
Okay.
We'll speak another time.
Certainly, Lord Inquisitor.
Let's see what you got. Buying and selling. Oh my. Oh my. These are definitely an upgrade. Ooh, Gurgit Vitar. Deep Stalker Vitar. Level 14. I kind of want that because I want to see if I can get something that's not the mime. The mime Vitar. Oh, that is the mime Vitar. Keen Deathroot. Yeah, see, it's... This one gives critical chance and cunning. This one just gives +6 attack. Okay. Well, we'll keep that for right now. Tonic Spelt, upgrades, crafting materials. Oh! Well, look at this! We've got some crafting materials here. Might be put to good use. Essence Containment Apparatus. Wow. Elf Fruit, Buffalo Hide. Ooh, I'm gonna have to keep this in mind. Logging Stand. Ooh. I know I need one of those. I'm gonna have to remember this if I really needed to craft something in particular. Valuables? Oh, those are things that I can... Oh, I was in Cell. Doggone it. Buy back. Buy back the logging stand. I was like, what? I was like, I didn't realize you sold all these. You can buy all these things. Okay. It's a good thing I caught that. Runestone. Ooh. Ooh. I'm gonna buy a couple of these. And play around with them off camera. Oh, Dragon Slaying Rune. Demon Slaying Rune. Bianca Arms. Bianca Arms. Ornate Bianca Grip. Demon Slaying Rune. Inflicts bonus damage against demons and undead for each weapon strike. Ooh. Inflicts damage. Oh. I think I'm gonna need both of these. Yeah. Armor mechanics, recipes, other. Alright. That's good for now. Thank you, BS, Bonnie Sims. Hey, Flissa, I saved you.
It's you. Your worship. I'm serving now. In a different way.
I was wondering where you were.
Blessings upon us all.
Because she was the tavern owner, and now she's selling stuff. Siege's End, Tensarin, Inquisition Scout Armor. Alright, nothing else. Ooh, where does this go? Whoa, this is new.
First, a full wheel of Antivan smoked cheese, and now 3 royals worth of crushed mint. They were right here. I remember seeing someone take them. I can't recall their face.
Oh, Cole, you're so mischievous. Yet another note from the kitchens. How many times do I have to say this? If it falls on the floor, it's still good to eat. Oh gosh, head cook Donatian. Oh my gosh, really? The foodie in me is lurching. Another note from the Skyhold kitchens. Once again, please keep the elf out of the kitchen. Hey. And check the sugar daily to make sure it is still sugar and not salt. Head cook Donatian. Beneath this is written, try keeping this out, followed by an arrow pointing towards a crude drawing of a phallus. That's Sarah. A note from the Skyhold kitchens. Again. If I ever find out who put the turnips in the fireplace, I will personally feed them into the meat grinder. Head cook Donatian. Do I know that Cole doesn't like turnips? Do I know that? A note from the Skyhold kitchens. Request for supplies. Potatoes, 500. Flour, 50 sacks. Dried peas, 100 sacks. Salted meat, as much as possible. Willow stitches, 4. To break in the new kitchen hands. Okay.
There's no end of it. I could store an army.
Exactly what I was thinking. Exactly what I was thinking. This is beautiful. Is that Haven, or is that a city that I should be familiar with? Oh my. There's always a new room for me to find in this place. And there's a codex thing that I didn't show up. The First Blight, Chapter 2. People today have little concept of the consequences of the second sin. Oh, believe me when I say that when asked, pious chantry-going folk will curse the use of foul magic, spitting and snapping their fingers, but none live today who actually remember the horror that was unleashed so very long ago. Whatever records might have existed regrettably did not survive the chaos and ignorance that was to follow. We have only the tales of survivors handed down through the murky ages and dogma of the chantry to instruct us, and that it's precious little indeed. I believe I am not understating when I say that the second sins unleashed the bane of the all-life upon Thetis. The Darkspawn are more virulent than the worst plague. A heartless force of nature that came into the world like an ill wind. We know from accounts of later blights, as these Darkspawn invasions came to be called, never has a more appropriate name existed, that the Darkspawn spread disease and famine wherever they tread. The earth itself is corrupted by their presence, the sky rolling with angry black clouds. I do not exaggerate, my friends, when I say that a mass gathering of Darkspawn is an omen of dread cataclysm. It is said that those cursed magisters who became the first Darkspawn scratched at the very earth to find solace in the darkness of the dwarven deep roads, and there in the shadows they multiplied, whether by intelligent design or by some last vestige of worship in their minds. They attempted to locate the old gods they had once served. They found what they sought, Dumat, first among the old gods, once known as the Dragon of Silence before the Maker imprisoned him and all his brethren beneath the earth for the first sin, usurping the Maker's place in mankind's heart. The slumbering dragon awoke, freed from the Maker's prison by his twisted followers, and became corrupted himself. Dumat was transformed into the first archdemon, his great and terrible power given will by a rotting, unholy mind. With the Darkspawn horde following, Dumat rose and took wing in the skies once again, bringing ruin to the world the Maker had created. The old god had become the eye of a dark storm that would ravage the entire world. From Tales of the Destruction of Thetis by Brother Genetivi, Chantry Scholar. This is a large spell book. The Folly of General Not Sheraton. 5. In the days that followed, to avoid scandal, the appointing of Not Sheraton was claimed a grand tactic of the true general, who must have orchestrated the whole affair from secret meaning the cloakroom, for not even his own attendants knew his face, and they would have had the guards whisk him to jail for trespassing. But with his mask restored, and wary of the embarrassment, the general was merciful with Not Sheraton, imposing less than half the prescribed lashes and sparing her and her lord the gallows. They were allowed to leave Orlais in the condition of that Not Sheraton was henceforth her name. What is green? What is green? Imagine I should present to you an object which, to my mind, is of indisputable greenness, and ask, does this thing appear to you to be green? Naturally, you might say that it does, for you have come to recognize the appearance of the color of the object to be green, associating the word with what your eyes see. But could it be my understanding of green differs entirely from yours? What if perchance you could see into my mind? You might realize that all things that I name green are actually red in your understanding. Ah, without the moorings of objective truth, we are set adrift in oceans of solitary experience. I mean, they're right. The names of colors is what we designate, and it's interesting to find out if what is green to us is red to somebody else in that way. The promising opening to a lecture given by Karsten Groeck, philosopher-poet at the University of Orlais. The lecture's quality dropped significantly after this point and ended quickly when Groeck subjected audience members to a poorly constructed ode to chartreuse. He fled from the auditorium under fire from students armed with overripe red tomatoes. Oh, how lovely. The Pyramids of Parvalin. The island called Parvalin was the first land in Thedas to be taken by the Qunari, and has been held by them ever since. But while the Qunari have raised their own marvels on the island, the famed city of Quandar comes to mind. Parvalin had a rich history before the Qun ever came to its shores. Tear your eyes from Quandar's wonders and look instead to the jungle. There you'll see the ruins of vast cities that proclaim in silence, "We were here." Parvalin's distinctive pyramids, looming from the overgrowth, have remained largely intact even if their intended purpose has been lost. I didn't realize there were pyramids in Parvalin, or in Thedas, like in the first place. That's interesting. They do not seem to be tombs, though some chambers contain bodies that have been carefully preserved. Amazingly, the pyramid's proportions are mathematically perfect. I wonder if there's mummies in the tombs in Thedas history. Since their alignment is so precise, one suspects they serve some scientific purpose. Observatories, perhaps? Advent Therastus has observed that the shape of the Parvalin pyramid seemed perfectly to match the constellation Solium. We know, oh yeah, the Sol constellation, I remember that from one of the places, Hinterlands or the Storm Coast. We know more of the pyramids than we do of the humans who built them. The Qunari came to Parvalin as conquerors, but there is no history and little sign of battles fought on the island's shores. A civilization that could build such vast cities would surely have defenses, armies, perhaps weapons, alien even to the Qunari. So why is there so little proof of resistance? One answer may lie in what remains of their temples. Beneath the leaves and vines covering the walls, you can still make out the stylized carvings that adorn them. The paint has long since flaked away, but the silhouettes are clear. Intricate sea creatures, shipwrights, musicians, archers, and kings. Here and there, odd figures are depicted. Tall, horned, always in position of authority and respect. What were these horned figures to the ancients of Parvalin? Priests, ritually crowned? Heroes? Gods, perhaps? We may never know the truth, but when the Qunari arrived from the sea, horned and carrying the word of the Qun, perhaps instead of conquerors, the people of Parvalin saw an old legend returning to them. Oh, that makes sense. Never thought of that. This is all supposition. The humans of Parvalin are Qunari now, their ancient civilization discarded like a child's toy. Yet the pyramids remain, along with the old cities, the island itself. One day, greater scholars may hear what they have to say. From A Completed History of the Occupied North by Renatus of Aislay. That was interesting stuff. Oh, jeez. Is there anything over here before I go up these stairs? No. So many things in this building. Hi. Oh, we're back here. I didn't realize there was even a door there. Alright, how's our war table coming along? Did our other characters come back? Summon the war gods with him. This will probably be the last thing I'm gonna do in this video. Do we have people who have completed? Friend and Orlais, remaining 33 minutes. Okay. This one's done. A new crew, the new to the crew, a young hopeful. The Sutherland lad reported back. The bandits were cleared with minor spoils. He may have potential. Cullen. Okay, good. Thank you, sir. Which means... Hunt the Red Folded Out. Oh yeah, that's gonna take a while. I'm wondering if I can use Cullen for something else. Deploy recent Evangeline. Yeah, I wanted Liliana for this. Conscript for the Inquisition. Let them conscript more soldiers. Orlais. What have we got? Secrets. Investigate Hunter Fell. Barra's reputation precedes her. The Serpent of Navarra. Anything else that I really want to do? Alliances. Choose successor in Lights. Investigate the Assaulted Plains. Truth or Dare, Lake Celestine. Can I do one of the ones here? Upon the Waking Sea, search for Hack Rider.
How are the rescue efforts? Have they found anyone alive?
Excavation is slow, as you can imagine.
They're likely afraid to come out of hiding. I can send a few non-Templar soldiers to protect the mages on their way here. I can send a few agents. If anything, these things scream Cullen. Conscript for the Inquisition. The Interlands is notable. Onyx and Drakestone. Conscript. Fallowmire resources. Summer of Stone and Blue Vitriol. Blood Lotus and Dawn Lotus. Were both found. I managed to concentrate on finding some stones and metals, which I think are more rare. Well, for right now, let's just do Hinterland resources. We have plenty of elf fruit. Let's send Cullen to get more onyx and drakestone.
Inquisitor.
Cullen. Alright. I think that's what I'll do for now. Thank you guys for watching this episode of Gay Let's Play Dragon Age Inquisition. I'll see you guys next time. Until then, love yourselves and love each other.